Hey guys, it's me, Vicky Marie. This is a very, very quick live. I just wanted to update you on this awful case that just seems to be getting worse and worse. Now, this is a case that we looked at when it happened, which was, let me just see when it all happened. It was sometime last year, wasn't it? Yeah. Between the 8th and 10th of July last year, these horrible crimes that we're going to talk about occurred. And we talked about it at the time because this is when the human remains were found on Bristol Suspension Bridge. And of course, it was thought at the time, or it wasn't thought for any length of time, but, you know, it was around about the time or just a couple of months after Jack O'Sullivan had gone missing in Bristol, and the police were very quick to say that the remains had nothing to do with the disappearance of Jack O'Sullivan. And that's, I think, why we noticed it especially. Apart from the fact, you know, it's not every day that somebody finds a suitcase with dismembered remains in it on a bridge. So we looked at this case then, and the trial is happening at the moment, and it's coming up with some dreadful details. So I just want to give you a trigger warning. I mean, obviously, you know, I don't go into gory details about things, but there's no way that you can avoid the gory details in this case. We knew that a couple, a sort of elderly gay couple, if you like, elderly over 60 anyway, had been murdered and dismembered. And the prime suspect, so the couple is Albert Alfonso, who's 62 years old, and Paul Longworth, who's 71, who we're going to have a look at photos of them. And the accused is Yostin Mosquera, who is 34 years old. And remember, we talked about at the time, and we were sort of wondering, is this like a ménage à trois? Or is he just somebody they took in because they felt sorry for him, etc. So now the trial started, the details are emerging, and unfortunately the details are very, very sad. Anyway, I wanted to tell you about it because I've got a lot sort of going on at the moment. This will be very short. I just want to read an article to you. I just want to keep you updated, because that's what I'm here for. But also I wanted to talk about it because when I read these details, it was like, oh my God, it's like, you know, we talk about shared outrage, etc., that we do on in our community. I am absolutely outraged that this happened to these men, this couple, but especially one of them who apparently, anyway, I'm going to read you the what's happened. But thank you for caring about them. First of all, thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for being subscribers, etc. Let's get into the details of this case, which, as I say, warning, trigger warning. I don't think I was expecting, and I mean, obviously it was horrible because people had been found dismembered, but believe me, it's even more horrible than we could even imagine. So I'm going to go to this article. So this man, he killed the couple and then he froze their remains. So, you know, we've seen them all together like that. I don't know, they're on some sort of speedboat or whatever. Someone's taking a selfie there. You've got Yostin Mosquera, 34. He's the accused. And then you've got Albert Alfonso, 62, and Paul Longworth, 71. And Albert and Paul were in a relationship, a long-term relationship. And Yostin, he was like I don't know, a plus one. And, you know, we were sort of not a plus one. This was like a ménage à trois, or that's what we thought. But actually, it's not. It's a ménage à deux. You know, there's only two people involved one of the couple. They didn't want anything to do with extra sort of couple relations, but unfortunately one of them did want to get other people involved. So a man murdered a couple, dismembered their bodies, and then froze some of their remains before taking the rest in suitcases to the Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol, a court has heard. Now, this is the really horrible bit that I just need to warn you about. So Yostin Andres Mosquera filmed himself having sex with and stabbing Albert Alfonso, having earlier killed Paul Longworth, 71, the prosecution said. So it seems like he killed Paul Longworth, but off camera, and then he filmed himself having sex with and stabbing the other guy. I mean, what has brought this on? You know, I mean, listen, it's one thing having rough sex or S&M, all those things that people participate in. It's a normal thing, really, to be honest. Well, normal maybe not, but a common thing that people participate in. But most of it is role play, isn't it? It's not real. You know, people that participate in these kind of sort of adventures, sex adventures, they're not things that, what's the word? They're not things that they really want to do. They're role plays, they're games, they're just spicing up sex or whatever. I mean, I don't know where this picture was taken. Oh, it is in Colombia. I was just going to say it looks like Colombia because Yostin, he was Colombian. And they went out to visit him there in Colombia, and he came to visit them in London. But anyway, apparently it's transpiring that he actually filmed himself having sex with and killing Albert Alfonso. So that is on video. So he can't escape from that. He can't escape from that. Apparently the video, the jury, the poor jury, had to watch it apparently today in court. You know, so that is there. That has been videoed. So that he's not going to, you know, what's he going to say? It wasn't him in the video. Anyway, oh, he denies the murder of both men at their flat in Shepherd's Bush, West London, between the 8th and 10th of July last year. He admitted the manslaughter of Mr. Alfonso. Well, you know, I'm not being funny, but if he's actually been filmed himself doing it, how's he going to say he didn't do it? And how is it manslaughter? How is it manslaughter when you stab someone on video? Anyway, never mind. But the prosecution rejected this plea. I'm not surprised. So again, a warning, it's even warning here on the BBC. This article contains material that some people may find distressing. I mean, what's his defence going to be if there's a video of him doing it? Oh. So that's the court drawing, obviously. So at the same court, the prosecution alleges Mr. Mosquera killed both men on 8th of July 2024 at their home, killing Mr. Longworth first, and then hiding his body in the storage section of Mr. Longworth's bed. So he's killed, according to the prosecution, allegedly, he's killed the first partner first, then hid his body. He's been attacked with a hammer to the back of his head, and then Mr. Alfonso later would have been repeatedly stabbed during an sex act, and that is videoed. The pair were in a long-term relationship, and a year before their death, they had entered into a civil partnership together. So this is all apparently about extreme sex. So prosecutor Dina Hare Casey said Mr. Mosquera could hardly deny killing Mr. Alfonso, telling them that the attack took place while the defendant and Mr. Alfonso were having sex, and that both the sex and the killing were filmed. You know, I've got to say I'm totally floored by this. I wasn't expecting this. I thought this would be a robbery type thing. I did not think it was going to end up so gruesome. And Mr. Mosquera was also recorded singing and dancing in the aftermath of the attack. And the court was told that Mr. Mosquera blamed Mr. Alfonso for the death of Mr. Longworth. So apparently Paul Longworth and Albert, they entered into this. They've been together a long time. They were in what seemed to be a happy relationship. But one of them, Mr. Alfonso, brought in this demon into their lives because he liked extreme sex. And Mr. Longworth knew about it and he accepted it, but he had nothing to do with it. So, you know, I'm just going to I'm lighting a candle for both of them if I can find my lighter. But, you know, really, your special thoughts go out to Mr. Longworth, Paul Longworth, because he knew, he sort of accepted his partner's preferences, predilections, whatever, he's accepted it, but he didn't want anything to do with it, but he sort of let him get on with it, which just shows you don't do that. Don't do that. Don't let your partner get on with dangerous things that bring problems into your relationship. It's not good. Anyway, so jurors were told that Mr. Mosquera visited the UK more than once, spent time with Mr. Alfonso and Mr. Longworth, engaging in sex acts with Mr. Alfonso in exchange for payment, and also that the couple also visited the defendant in his home country of Colombia. Just makes you think, doesn't it? It's like it's always about sex or money, isn't it? sex or money, or maybe, in other cases, custody of children or whatever. But this is, seems like this guy Mosquera, he was a porno actor. So Mr. Alfonso paid the defendant and another man, known under a pseudonym as James Smith, to perform degrading sexual acts, which were often filmed and posted online, jurors were told. So this is turning into I don't know, it's like unreal, isn't it? And Mr. Longworth, he was just sort of putting up with his partner's preferences. I mean, it's terrible, isn't it? Anyway, the court heard that after the attacks, Mr. Mosquera used the computer in Mr. Alfonso's room to steal from him. And he had created a PowerPoint document of the couple's banking information, accessed a spreadsheet which contained their passwords for online banking, and he'd attempted to access the bank accounts to transfer money, including trying to send £4,000 to his own account in Colombia. He made several cash withdrawals from Mr. Alonso's different bank accounts, obtaining at least £900 before the transactions started getting declined. So this is where he took the men's remains to, or part of their remains. God, imagine the police discovering this again. It comes down to, so the police discovered these remains, didn't they? They traced the guy back to London. They went to the flat where they lived and found the rest of their remains in a chest freezer. It's not nice, is it? you know, for a minute. I always just think, God, imagine going home and your wife or your husband says to you, how was your day, dear? And it's like, oh yeah, we found these dismembered remains and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, about 11:30 in the evening on the 10th of July, a cyclist making his way across the Clifton Suspension Bridge spotted Mr. Mosquera standing next to a large red suitcase, and the defendant told the cyclist he had car parts inside the suitcase and a large silver trunk. And in fact, inside that suitcase were the, I hate doing these, giving these sort of gory details, but the headless and dismembered bodies of Mr. Longworth and Mr. Alfonso, poor things. Other body parts were found by the police in a chest freezer at their flat in Shepherd's Bush. And Mr. Mosquera, a Colombian national, sat in the dock, he will speak Spanish, and listened to proceedings with the help of an interpreter. He must have spoke English. I mean, again, it's like that bloody idiot in the Victor the Viper in the Rachel Marine case. Of course he speaks English. Anyway, so this is the first day of the trial. You know, I don't think anyone was expecting, these awful details. So there's a video. Of course, the bad thing about there being a video is, it's horrible and the thought of it. But the good thing about there being a video is he's not going to be able to, if he's actually filmed himself having sex with Albert and then murdering him, he's not going to get away with that charge, is he? And he's looking at a life tariff. Because if it's like murder, RAPE, or some sort of SEX act, I'm not saying that was RAPE. Maybe it started off as like a, consensual act. But he'd already apparently murdered this poor guy's partner and hidden his body. So it is premeditation. I mean, it's just awful. I don't, every time I do, one of these cases that's so, I think, oh my God, just when you think you've seen it all, that's how it feels in this case. And how did he ever feel that he would get away with it? Anyway, as always, let me know in comments what you think. Hey, what sort of sentence do you think he got? Because he's definitely murdered one of these guys because it's been, but he's saying it's manslaughter. Anyway, leave me your comments, please. I'll be interested to hear your comments. I'm totally sort of, that's why I had to come on, because I'm just sort of totally bewildered by this. It's completely... It's the last thing that I was expecting. It's awful, terrible. Hope he gets, these two guys get their justice. But especially Paul, because, really his partner brought someone into their home, it seems, that, was dangerous for both of them. Very sad. Anyway, I'll keep you updated. Don't forget to leave your fingerprint on the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. That way you'll get updates. Thank you for caring and thank you for watching. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Bye.